In this video, I'm going to be giving you a guide on every quest in Blox Fruits. I'm also going to be telling you about some secret quests that you might have not known existed. So the first quest you actually equipped in the game depends on whether you choose Marine or Pirate. If you chose Marine, then you start on the Marine Starter Island, and you get your quest from the Marine Leader, and he only consists of one quest, which is the Trainee. The Trainee is just level 5, gives you 300 XP and 350 belly per kill. But if you've chosen a Pirate, then you start on the Pirate Starter Island, and the person that gives you the quest is called a Bandit Quest Giver, and obviously the quest that you get is Bandit. And just like the Trainee, the Bandits are also level 5, gives you 300 XP and a total of 350 belly drop. Next up, you move on to the Jungle Island, and here you have a different quest giver. He's called the Adventurer, and he gives you a total of 3 quests. The first one is Monkey, which you have to be level 10 to equip. It gives you 2300 XP and 800 belly. Next up is the Gorilla, which you have to be level 15 to fight, and this one gives you 4500 XP along with 1200 belly. Next up, we got the first boss on this list, the Gorilla King, and you have to be level 20 to equip this quest. It gives you a total of 9500 XP and 2000 belly. And since it's a boss, it obviously has hockey, so even if you have an elemental food, you'll take damage from this one. The next island you move to is called the Pirate Village, and the quest giver is called the Pirate Adventurer, and he also gives you a total of 3 different quests. The first one is Pirate, which you have to be level 30 to equip, and it gives you a total of 13,000 XP along with 3000 belly. And the pirates actually use a weapon called the Cutlass, and these are the first enemies on this list that actually start using weapons. Next up, we got everybody's favorite NPC, the Brutes, and you have to be level 40 to accept this quest. It gives you a total of 22,000 XP and 350 belly, and the Brutes use an iron mace. And last of all, for this island, we got the boss, Buggy, which you have to be level 55 to equip, and he gives you a total of 45,000 XP along with 8,000 belly. And this boss Buggy actually has a chop fruit, so even if you have hockey on with your swords, you won't be able to do damage. Moving on to the desert, the quest giver's name is the Desert Adventurer, and he only gives you a total of 2 different quests. First up is the Desert Bandits, which you have to be level 60 to equip, and it gives you a total of 45,000 XP with 4,000 belly, and these guys also use the Cutlass as a weapon. Next up is the Desert Officers, which you have to be level 75 to fight, and they give you a total of 65,000 XP along with 4,500 belly, and these guys also use the Cutlass, so they're pretty similar to the Desert Bandits. And that's it for the Desert Island. Moving on, we got the Frozen Village, and the quest giver's name is literally just Villager. It consists of 3 quests, and the first one is Snow Bandit, which you have to be level 90 to equip, and this quest gives you a total of 90,000 XP along with 5,000 belly, and they use katanas as a weapon. Next up is the Snowman, which you have to be level 100 to equip, and this one gives you a total of 150,000 XP along with 5,500 belly, and these guys have no weapons, so they just use the basic combat. The last one for this island is the boss fight, and this guy is literally called a Yeti. You have to be level 105 to accept this quest, and you get 220,000 XP for this one along with 10,000 belly. Moving on to Marine Fortress, the quest giver's name is Marine, and this doesn't change even if you're a pirate. Pretty weird if you ask me. The first one is Chief Petty Officer, and you have to be level 120 to accept this quest, and he gives you a total of 225,000 XP along with 6,000 belly, and these guys use dual katanas as their weapon. And the next one is literally a boss, the Vice Admiral, and you have to be level 130 to accept this quest. He gives you a total of 415,000 XP along with 15,000 belly, and this boss uses the triple katana, so be careful for this one if you're a new player. And next up, moving on to SKYLANDS, the quest giver's name is Sky Adventurer, and like the name says, the first quest he gives you is the Sky Bandit, which you have to be level 150 to accept. It gives you a total of 315,000 XP along with 7,000 belly, and the weapons they use is a dual katana. Next up is the Dark Master, and you have to be level 175 to accept this quest. It gives you a total of 450,000 XP along with 7,500 belly, and these guys use the Iron Mace, so they're pretty similar to the Brutes in the Pirate Village. Moving on to the prison, we actually have 2 quest givers at the island. The first one is called the Jailkeeper, and this guy gives you 2 quests. The first one is Prisoners, which you have to be level 190 to accept, and this quest gives you a total of 550,000 XP along with 7,000 belly. Next one is Dangerous Prisoners, and you have to be level 210 to accept this quest. It gives you a total of 780,000 XP along with 7,500 belly. Moving on to the second quest giver at this location, he's called the Head Jailer, and he gives you a total of 3 quests, and these are all boss fights, so be careful with this one. The first one is the Warden, which you have to be level 220 to accept. It gives you a total of 850,000 XP with 6,000 belly. Next up is the Chief Warden, which you have to be level 230 to accept. It literally gives you 1 million XP with 10,000 belly. Last for this island is the Swan boss, and this is the hardest boss on this list so far. You have to be level 240 to fight him, and he gives you a total of 1.6 million XP, along with 15,000 belly on top of that. And he also has the Spider Fruit, so he's a really powerful boss. Moving on to the next island, it's called the Colosseum, and the guy that gives you the quest is called Colosseum Quest Giver. He gives you a total of 2 quests. The first one is Toga Warriors, which you have to be level 250 to accept, and this one gives you 1.1 million XP, along with 7,000 belly. The next one is Gladiators, which you have to be level 275 to accept, and this one gives you 1.3 million XP, along with 7,500 XP, and both of these guys actually don't have any special ability when they fight, so they're also using the basic combat. The next island is the Magma Village, and the name of the quest giver is the Mayor. The first quest is Military Soldiers, and you have to be level 300 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 1.7 million XP and 8,250 belly. They use katanas as weapons, and they actually have 50% of their haki unlocked. Next up is the Military Spies, and you have to be level 325 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 2 million XP and 8,500 belly. These guys have flash steps, so be careful when fighting them. And the boss for this one is the Magma Admiral, and you have to be level 350 to fight this one. And he gives you a total of 15,000 belly, and obviously he has the Magma Fruit. Moving on to Underwater City. The quest giver's name is King Neptune, and the first quest is Fishman Warriors. You have to be level 375 to accept this quest, and you get 3,050,000 XP for completing this one, along with 8,750 belly, and these guys use katanas as weapons. Next up is the Fishman Commandos, and you have to be level 400 to fight these guys. They give you a total of 3.35 million XP, along with 9,000 belly, and these guys use triple katanas as their weapons. And the boss for this one is the Fishman Lord, and you have to be level 425 to fight this guy. He gives you a total of 4.25 million XP, along with 15,000 belly, and this guy has the Trident as his weapon, and it can be pretty annoying to fight against. Next up is Upper Sky Islands, and we actually have 2 quest givers for this place. The first one is called Mole, and he gives you a total of 3 different people to fight. The first one is the God's Guards, which you have to be level 450 to accept, and they give you 4.25 million XP, along with 875,000 belly. And these guys use dual-headed blades as their weapons, so be careful when fighting them. Next up is the Shandas, and you have to be level 475 to accept this one, and they give you 5 million XP, along with 9,000 belly, and these guys use the basic combat as their weapon. Next up is the Boss Whisper, and you have to be level 500 to fight this guy. He gives you a total of 5.7 million XP, along with 15,000 belly, and he uses a bazooka, but it's a gun, and everybody knows that guns are pretty bad. The name of the next quest giver in this place is called Gunfall Adventurer, and the first one he gives you is called Royal Squads, and you have to be level 525 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 5.8 million XP, along with 9,500 belly. Next up is the Royal Soldiers, and you have to be level 550 to fight these guys. It gives you a total of 6.3 million XP, along with 9,750 belly. And we got the final boss for Upper Sky Islands, and this guy is literally called Thunder God, and he's pretty hard to fight against. You have to be level 575 to accept this quest, and you get 8 million XP from it, along with 20,000 belly. This guy literally has the Rumble Fruit along with the Pole First form. Moving on to the final island in the First Sea, Fountain City, and the guy that gives you the quest for this one is Freezeburg Quest Giver, and he has a total of 3 quests for you. The first one is Gallery Pirates, which you have to be level 625 to fight. They give you 7.5 million XP, along with 10,000 belly. These guys use a pretty basic weapon, literally the katana. Next up is the Gallery Captains, and you have to be level 650 to fight these guys. They give you 8.5 million XP, along with 10,000 belly. They also use katanas, but they have haki, so be careful. Next up is the final boss, Cyborg, and you have to be level 675 to fight this guy. He gives you a total of 10 million XP, along with 20,000 belly. Moving on to the second sea, the first island is called Kingdom of Rose Area 1, and the quest giver's name is Area 1 Quest Giver. The first quest he gives you is Raider, and you have to be level 700 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 8.75 million XP, along with 10,250 belly. Next up is Mercenary, and you have to be level 725 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 9.75 million XP, along with 10,500 belly. Keep in mind, both of these opponents literally use the basic combat, so they should be pretty easy to fight. And the boss for this area is called Diamond. You have to be level 750 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 12.5 million XP, along with 25,000 belly, and he uses a longsword as his weapon. The next quest giver is called Area 2 quest giver, and this guy is located in the Kingdom of Rose Area 2. The first one he gives you Swan Pirate, and you have to be level 775 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 11.5 million XP along with 10,750 belly. And these guys use katanas as their weapon. Next up is Factory Staff, and you have to be level 800 to fight these guys. It gives you a total of 13 million XP along with 11,000 belly. And these guys use a variety of fruits. They use the Bomb, Smoke, and Spike, and it's completely random which one spawns in. And the boss for this area is Jeremy, and you have to be level 850 to accept this quest. It gives you a total of 16 million XP along with 25,000 belly. And this guy has a spring fruit, so he bounces around quite a lot. Moving on to the green zone, the quest giver's name is Marine Quest Giver, and the first quest he gives you is Marine Lieutenant, and you have to be level 875 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 15 million XP along with 11,250 belly, and these guys use katanas as their weapon. Next up is Marine Captain, and you have to be level 900 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 16.5 million XP along with 11,500 belly, and these guys use hockey along with a katana. And the boss for this area is called Vegeta. You have to be level 925 to accept this quest, and it gives you 19 million XP along with 25,000 fragments. And this guy uses a gravity fruit along with the gravity cane. A lot of gravity in that. Moving on to the Graveyard Island. The quest giver's name is Graveyard Quest Giver, and he consists a total of 2 quests. The first one is Zombie, and you have to be level 950 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 19 million XP along with 11,750 belly. Next up is Vampires, and you have to be level 975 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 20.5 million XP along with 12,000 belly. And these guys use flash steps, so they move around quite a lot. Moving on to the Snow Mountains, we got the Snow Quest Giver. The first one he gives you is Snow Trooper, and you have to be level 1000 to accept this quest. It gives you 22.5 million XP along with 12,250 fragments. These guys use the dual katanas as weapons. Next up is the Winter Warrior, and you have to be level 1050 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 24 million XP along with 12,500 belly. Moving on to the next island, Hot and Cold. And this area is separated into 2 parts, so you have 2 different quest givers. The first one is the Ice Quest Giver, and the people you fight are called Lab Subordinates. You have to be level 1100 to accept this quest, and it gives you a total of 25.5 million XP along with 12,250 belly. And these guys use the pipe as their weapon. Next up is the Horned Warrior, and you have to be level 1125 to take on these guys. It gives you a total of 25 million XP along with 12,500 belly. And they all have the ice fruit, so be careful with this one. Next up is the boss for the ice area, the Smoke Admiral, and you have to be level 1150 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 32.5 million XP along with 20,000 belly. And this one's an elemental, so be careful if you don't have hockey. The next quest giver for this area is the Fire Quest Giver, and he looks really similar to the Ice Quest Giver. The quest he gives you is Magma Ninjas, and you have to be level 1175 to accept this one. It gives you a total of 29 million XP along with 12,250 belly. And these guys use a dual-headed blade as a weapon. Next up is the Lava Pirate, and you have to be level 1200 to fight these guys. It gives you a total of 31 million XP along with 12,500 belly. These guys use the Magma Fruit, and this is a pretty powerful fruit, so be careful when fighting these guys. Moving on to the Cursed Ship, we got 2 quest givers here. The first one is the Rare Crew Quest Giver, and he gives you the ship Deckhand. You have to be level 1250 to fight these guys, and you get 33 million XP. It also gives you 12,250 belly. Next up is the Ship Engineer, and you have to be level 1275 to fight these guys. It gives you a total of 35.5 million XP along with 12,500 fragments. And these guys use Flash Step and they have hockey. The next quest giver is called the Front Crew Quest Giver, and this guy gives you the Ship Steward, and you have to be level 1300 to fight these guys. It gives you a total of 37.5 million XP and 12,250 belly, and these guys use the Cutlass to fight. Pretty basic sword. Next up is the Ship Officer, and you have to be level 1325 to fight these guys. They give you a total of 39.5 million XP along with 12,500 belly, and these guys also use the Cutlass, but the crucial difference is that they have hockey. Moving on to the Ice Castle. The quest giver's name is Frost Quest Giver, and he tells you to fight the Arctic Warriors. The level requirement for this is 1,350, and it gives you 41 million XP, along with 12,250 belly. These guys use the katana to fight, so it's pretty basic. Next up is the Snow Lurker. You have to be level 1,375 to fight these guys, and they give you 43 million XP, along with 12,500 belly. And these guys all have the Ice Fruit combined with Hockey, so be careful while fighting these guys. And the boss fight for this place is the Awakened Ice Admiral. You have to be level 1,400 to fight this guy, and he gives you 45 million XP along with 20,000 belly. And like the name states, he has the Awakened Ice Fruit, and this is the first Awakened Fruit on this list, so be careful when fighting this guy. Next up is the last island on the second sea, the Forgotten Island. And this guy is called the Forgotten Quest Giver. Gives you a total of 3 people to fight. First up is the Sea Soldier, which you have to be level 1,425 to equip. Gives you a total of 47 million XP along with 12,250 belly. And these guys all use Water Kung Fu. Next up is the Water Fighter. You have to be level 1,450 to fight these guys. It gives you 49 million XP along with 12,500 belly. And these guys also use Water Kung Fu, but they actually have Hockey as well. Next up is the final boss of the second sea, the Tide Keeper. You have to be level 1,475 to fight these guys. And they give you 51 million XP along with 12,500 belly. This guy literally has a dragon trident and he summons a sea beast. So you're basically fighting a boss along with a mini boss. And this quest is pretty hard to complete. Now moving on to the third sea. The first quest giver is literally called Pirate Port Quest Giver, and he's located at Port Town. This is literally the first quest you get once you enter the third sea. And it's Pirate Millionaire, and you have to be level 1,500 to fight these guys. They give you 53 million XP along with 13,000 belly. And they use the Bicento as a weapon. Next is the Pistol Billionaire, and these guys are tough, so you have to be level 1,525 to fight them. They give you a total of 55.5 million XP along with 15,000 belly, and these guys use a refined musket as a weapon. Next up is the boss, and this guy is called Stone. You have to be level 1,550 to fight him, and he gives you 60 million XP along with 25,000 belly. And this guy has the Bomb Fruit, so he shouldn't be that hard to fight against. Moving on to Hydra Island, we got 2 quest givers for this place because this island is massive, just like every island on the third sea. First is the Amazon Quest Giver, and the people you fight is the Dragon Crew Warrior. You have to be level 1,575 to accept this quest, and you get 58 million XP for completing it, along with 13,000 belly, and they use a longsword as a weapon. Next is the Dragon Crew Archer, and you have to be level 1,600 to fight these guys. It gives you 60.5 million XP along with 15,000 belly, and these guys use the Serpent Bow. Moving on to the second quest giver, it's called the Amazon Area 2 Quest Giver. First is the Female Islander, and you have to be level 1,625 to accept this one. And it gives you a total of 62.5 million XP, along with 13,000 belly. These guys use the Iron Mace to fight. Next is the Giant Islander, and you have to be level 1,650 to accept this one. Gives you a total of 64.5 million XP, along with 15,000 belly. These guys have nothing but Hockey, so they shouldn't be too hard to fight. And the boss for this area is the Island Empress, and you have to be level 1,675 to fight her. Gives you a total of 70 million XP along with 30,000 belly. And of course, since she's the Island Empress, she has the Love Fruit. Moving on to the Great Tree. And you only got 1 quest giver for this one, which is kind of surprising. He's called the Marine Tree Quest Giver, and the first people you fight is Marine Commodore. You have to be level 1,700 to accept this one, and you get 68 million XP, along with 13,000 belly. These guys use the dual katana, and they have Hockey. Next up is the Marine Rear Admiral, and you have to be 1,725 to take these guys on. They give you 70.5 million XP along with 15,000 belly. And they use the Spin Fruit, so they shouldn't be too hard to fight. Next up is the Kilo Admiral. You have to be level 1,750 to fight this one. And you get a total of 78 million XP along with 35,000 belly. And just like the name implies, they got the Kilo Fruit. Moving on to the Floating Turtle. And surprisingly, we got 3 quest givers on this one island. The first one is Turtle Adventurer Quest Giver, and you fight the Fishmen Raiders. You have to be level 1,775 for this one. Gives you a total of 73 million XP along with 13,000 belly. And they all use the Shark Saw. Next up is the Fishman Captain, and you have to be level 1,800 to fight these ones. Gives you a total of 75.5 million XP along with 15,000 belly, and these guys use tridents to fight. Pretty fish-like if you ask me. Moving on to the next quest giver, this guy's called Deep Forest Quest Giver. And the people you first fight is the Forest Pirates, and you need to be level 1825 to fight them. They give you a total of 78 million XP along with 13,000 belly. Next up is the Mythological Pirate, and you have to be level 1850 to fight them. You get 81 million XP along with 13,000 belly. And these guys use the electric fighting style, so they can stun you pretty well. Now we got another boss, and this guy is called Captain Elephant, and you have to be level 1875 to fight him. You get 90 million XP along with 40,000 belly, and he uses the twin hooks to fight. Moving on to the third quest giver, the Deep Forest Area 2 quest giver. First up is the Jungle Pirate, which you have to be level 1900 to accept. It gives you a total of 85 million XP along with 13,000 belly. And these guys use Dark Step to fight. Next up is the Musketeer Pirate, and you have to be level 1925 to fight them. They give you a total of 87.5 million XP along with 15,000 belly. And they use the Cavendier to fight. Moving on, we got the Beautiful Pirate, and you have to be level 1950 to fight this. You get a total of 100 million XP along with 50,000 belly. And they also use the Cavendier to fight. Moving on to the Haunted Castle, we also got two quest givers for this place. The first one is the Haunted Castle quest giver number 1. Tell you to fight the Reborn Skeleton, which you have to be level 1975 to fight. Gives you a total of 90 million XP along with 13,000 belly. And they use Dark Step to fight against you. Next up is the Living Skeleton, and you have to be level 2000 to fight them. You get a total of 93.5 million XP along with 13,250 belly. These guys are pretty powerful since they use Flash Step with the superhuman fighting style. Moving on to the next quest giver, this one's called Haunted Castle quest giver number 2. Tell you to fight the Demonic Soul, which requires you to be level 2025. Gives you a total of 96 million XP along with 13,500 belly. These guys use the Flame Fruit. Next up is the Possessed Mummy. I need to be level 2050 to fight them. You get a total of 98.5 million XP along with 13,750 belly. And these guys use the Dark Fruit, so they should be pretty powerful. Moving on to the Sea of Treats. And this place has a whopping total of 7 quest givers, literally the most in any island in the whole game. First up is the Ice Cream quest giver, and this guy you need to fight the Ice Cream Chef, and you have to be level 2125 to do that. It gives you a total of 105 million XP along with 14,200 belly, and these guys use Dark Step to fight. Next is the Ice Cream Commander, and you have to be level 2150 to fight them. Gives you a total of 107.5 million XP along with 14,300 belly. These guys use the dual-headed blade along with hockey. Next up is the boss, and she's called Cake Queen. You have to be level 2175 to fight her, and she gives you a total of 112.5 million XP along with 30,000 belly. She uses the Buddy Sword, and obviously she's a boss. Next up is the Cake Quest Giver number 1. And for this one, you gotta fight the Cookie Crafters, which you have to be level 2200 to take on. Gives you a total of 110 million XP along with 14,200 belly. And these guys use the Warden Sword to fight. Next is the Cake Guard, and you have to be level 2225 to fight. Gives you a total of 112.5 million XP along with 14,300 belly. And these guys use the Triple Katana to fight. Moving on to Cake Quest Giver number 2. This one you gotta fight the Baking Staff, and they have a level requirement of 2250, and you get 115 million XP from them, along with 14,400 belly, and these guys have nothing apart from hockey. Next is the Head Baker, and you have to be level 2275 to fight them. Gives you a total of 117.5 million XP, along with 14,500 belly. These guys use hockey and they have the Flame Fruit. Moving on to the Chocolate Quest Giver number 1. For this one, you gotta fight the Cocoa Warriors, and you have to be level 2300 to do that. Gives you a total of 120 million XP along with 14,600 belly. Next up is the Chocolate Bar Battler, and you have to be level 2325 to fight this one. It gives you a total of 122.5 million XP along with 14,700 belly. And both of the people from this quest giver actually have nothing except hockey. Moving on to Chocolate Quest Giver number 2. For this one, you gotta fight the Sweet Thief, and you have to be level 2350 to do that. Gives you a total of 125 million XP along with 14,800 belly. Next is the Candy Rebel, and you have to be level 2375 to fight these ones. Gives you a total of 127.5 million XP along with 14,900 belly. And both the people from this quest giver also only use hockey. Moving on to the final quest giver of the whole game. For now. we got the Candy Cane Quest Giver. For this one, you gotta fight the Candy Pirates, which have a level requirement of 2,400. And you get a total of 129 million XP from these guys, along with 14,800 belly. And the final NPCs for the whole of Blox Fruits. These guys are called Snow Demons, and you have to be level 2,425 to fight them. They give you a whopping amount of 131 million XP, along with 14,700 belly.